There is nothing special about special education. Let me say that again. There is nothing special about special education. Slow it down. The learning disability is an opinion. It is not a fact. The reading disability is an opinion. It is not a fact. Comprehension disability is an opinion. It is not a fact. Emotional disturbance is an opinion. It is not a fact. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, stop introducing your children into the school to prison pipeline early by way of special education. If you put an autistic child in an autistic classroom, they will start imitating autistic behaviors. If you put an autistic child in an autistic classroom, they will start to imitate autistic behaviors. If you put a low achieving child in a learning support classroom, they will start imitating learning disabled behavior. Children learn by what they see. Children learn by what they see. If you put them around misbehaving children in the emotional support classroom, they will start acting like the misbehaving children. You put them around learning disabled children, they will start acting like they're learning disabled. You put them around autistic children, they will start acting like they are autistic. Don't be so quick to get your child evaluated because you see a small problem. Work with the child. See, I need you to understand that you cannot separate the learned helplessness of Black people from the learned helplessness of Black parents. And you can't separate the learned helplessness of Black parents from the learned helplessness of Black children. We are very quick to quit as a people. Maybe not on our personal goals, but as a race, and when it comes to our children, we are very quick to throw in the towel and give up. He needs extra help. Well, if he needs extra reading help, if he needs extra math help, if he needs extra comprehension help, why didn't you consider a tutor? Why didn't you consider a tutor? Why didn't you consider a tutor? Tutoring will do more good to your child than special education ever would. Simply getting your son or daughter a tutor would do way more for them than special education ever could. But we have this problem as American Africans where we don't want to pay for something that the white power structure is supposed to give to us for free. We don't want to pay for things that the system should be providing us. And since the system knows that Black people aren't committed enough to pay for things that the system is giving out for free, they know that they will always have a monopoly on the minds of Black children because the Black community isn't interested in saving its own children. Most of our children, whether we be rich or whether we be poor, most of our children, whether we be rich or whether we be poor, Most of our children are educated by Caucasians. I don't care if you make $1 billion a year, your child is taught by white people. I don't care if you make $1 million a year, your child is taught by white people. I don't care if you make $100,000 a year, your child is taught by white people. And more importantly, that's the way you want it to be. We believe the best education a black child can get. We believe the best education that a black child can get can only come from someone with pale skin. We believe in white supremacy as a people. If we didn't believe in white supremacy, special education would be out of business. We believe the teachers when they tell us our children can't learn without special help. We believe the teachers when they tell us their evaluations are fair and impartial. We believe the principal and the school psychologist and the counselor. We believe everything they say. We believe what they say about our children more than we believe what we think about our children. Let me say that again. Black people believe what is said about our children from non-Africans. We believe what people outside the community say more than what we believe about our own children. We suffer from collective European hypnosis. We are under a hypnosis that has hijacked our common sense. We are under a hypnosis that has hijacked our common sense. Yesterday, we celebrated 159 years since the end of slavery. The 13th Amendment was ratified on December the 6th, 1865, when the state of Georgia became the last state that was necessary. I believe you can only ratify an amendment with 3/5 or either 2/3 of the states approving it. In order for the amendment to become law, it has to be ratified by a certain amount of the states. And Georgia became that deciding state. And so on December the 6th of 1865, Black people became, quote unquote, legally free. We became legally free on December 6, 1865. That's 159 years ago. Let me ask you all a question. After 159 years, can you explain to me why we don't own and control a single Black hospital in the United States? Yes, Howard University has a hospital, but it's not Black owned and independent. Yes, we have some HBCUs that have hospitals attached to them, but they're not Black owned, they're not independent. We don't own a single independent Black hospital in this country. Not one. And you never will, as long as your children are taught by people who are programming them to be slaves. Economic slaves, religious slaves, wage-owning slaves, slaves to materialism, social media slaves. If we want to change, the destiny of Black America. If we want to change the destiny of Black America, you must change the educational paradigm for African children. There must be a paradigm shift in the education of Black children. This system we got of preschool, grade school, high school, and college, this system we got, it does not serve Black people. Our children are never given an education in self-determination. There is no education in self-determination for our children. Zero. Black children are not being taught how to stand on their own as a group of people. You may teach your children how to stand on their own as an individual, because American Africans love individuality. In fact, individuality is Black America's religion. Individualism is Black America's religion. We love individuality. We love individualism. We don't believe in unity, solidarity, or collectivism. We don't do unity. We don't do solidarity. We don't do collectivism. We do individualism, and that's why we always finish last. We will always finish last as long as we only raise our children to look out for themselves. We need community-based solutions. Our problems are community problems. They're not individual problems. We have millions of Black people in jail. That's not an individual problem. We have millions of Black children underachieving in school. That's not an individual problem. We have millions of Black people suffering from chronic diseases. That's not an individual problem. Community solutions for community problems. But the obstacle in the way of collective racial determination is the fact that most Black people have no faith in Black people's ability to change. And we have no faith in Black people's ability to overcome our challenges. We don't think we can win. And I need us to be honest about that, brothers and sisters. I need us to be honest about the fact that we believe that we can't win. That's called low racial self-esteem. That's called low racial self-esteem. And it doesn't matter how many degrees you have. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how beautiful of a home you live in, or how expensive a car you drive, or how much money you pay for your child's education. That doesn't matter. If you don't believe your race can overcome their challenges, you suffer from a poverty of consciousness. a poverty of consciousness. You can be a billionaire and suffer from a poverty of consciousness. You can be a millionaire and suffer from a poverty of consciousness. How many of you can admit you suffer from a poverty of consciousness, low racial self-esteem? You don't believe black people can win. If you have a question about your son or daughter, I'm going to continue to speak, but if you have a question about your son or daughter, you can text my cell phone at this time. Do not call my cell phone. Text my cell phone, and I will call you at this time so you can ask your question live, and I will answer it for the benefit of everyone listening. My cell number is 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. This is only for questions pertaining to children. If you do not have a question pertaining to your child, you should not be texting me right now. You can text me later when the call is over. You can text me tomorrow. But you should not be texting me now unless you have a question about your child or a child that you care about. Because this time is dedicated to helping our children. That's what we're doing right now.